Caviar Taste by the Grand Extravagant Funkghost. And I love that song because for me, even like production wise, it feels like it goes left and everything, but I love the sound of it. Of course, you know, I love old soul music, so I mean that just captured my ear right away, man. I'm feeling it. I like how the you know, worked in with the theme, but what's tight too is you took a lyric, you didn't take the hook. You know what I mean?
Right.
You wove a lyric into the track and made that the hook, which I was really digging.
Yeah, man. Like I said, with Caviar Taste, I wanted to do different type of sounds. I love old soul myself, so I wanted, like I said, incorporate different aspects of hip hop, from modern trap, you know, underground hip hop, soul, funk. There's even some gospel elements with Dear Lord.
Yeah.
So I wanted that type of melting pot with the record.
So, last official question for me is from, I would say, wow, I want to say I first heard your music in, I don't know, it had to be like 99?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I think when
Wasn't Red Tide doing stuff in '92?
we were doing stuff by like 1995 or 6, because those were our college years. But we moved up here
From Sarasota,
in '99.
right?
Yeah,
I remember.
and I remember your record. You even shouted us out in, like, you know, the liner notes on one of your records, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. You know, small world. But like since you started making hip hop music, what would you say? I mean, obviously having a kid is a big change and whatever, but artistically, what would you say has changed the most about you?
I think that I'm more open-minded.
Okay.
Back in the Ultra Boogie High Life days, and my man Flambini, who was there during the recording, even before that, right in the early days of Taplosophobia, we were on it had to be a certain way. The music had to be dirty and dusted and underground, you know, the whole Wu-Tang, and you know, we were definitely disciples of that. I've always been a big, huge Tribe Called Quest fan, so the music back then had to have that jazzy element to it, or I really wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
You know, back then too, in the late '80s and early '90s, underground hip hop was mainstream music.
Yeah.
You know, just like how, you know, the Rick Rosses and the Jay-Z's are mainstream now. You know, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, that literally was mainstream music. So over a period of time, that dichotomy changed, and that particular East Coast sound, if you want to call it, sort of went to the underground. So from the years of the Ultra Boogie Highlights, and you know, even before that, I was really closed-minded to a lot of mainstream sounding music. But as I got older, my musical palette increased as far as what I would want to try to do in the studio. Excuse me. So that's probably the biggest change. Just a little bit more open-minded to different sounds and different styles of music.
Oh yeah, and then also I just wanted to ask a couple of quick questions. But as far as on, you know, I know you for a while or whatever, but when it comes to your approach of music and hip hop, within the parameters of hip hop, like overall, what would you say like your main influences, like within hip hop?
Within hip hop, that's a great question. Probably my biggest influence with hip hop would probably be Tribe Called Quest, native tongue, that approach to making records, EPMD. That's a broad question, because it's a go through phases. I remember there was a phase where I was really on EPMD and that sound, and Eric Sermon, and then I went through, of course, in high school I was a Big Daddy Kane fan, Rakim. So just hip hop in general. Hip hop and even going back to Bambaataa with you know, when I was a kid, and the first record I ever bought was Run DMC Rock Box. So you know, that is my that whole conglomerate is my foundation. So that is a big influence. Now musically, my main influence probably musically about what how I learned to do stuff in the studio would probably be Kenny K, obviously, Edwin Birdsong, who used to perform with Roy Ayers, even did some solo records back in the 70s. It's one of my first teachers in the studio where I learned how to actually put songs together, verses, hook, bridge, the actual construction of songs. Because before that, even with the first Black Saturday stuff, we were just doing stuff free for all, and then, it ended up how it ended up. The first person that sat me down, hey man, if you really want to learn how to compose songs and work in the studio, this is how you do it. Edwin Birdsong was a big influence on that.
Now, we played the Black Saturday stuff, and we actually, last time I interviewed you, we actually kind of did a little bit of a, kind of past to the present.
Right.
Is there any place where, on any of your websites or anything, is all this music together so people can see like some of the evolution of Funkghost?
They can go to www.funkghost.blogspot.com, and I've posted some of the old Black Saturday music up there via YouTube. What's crazy about a lot of that stuff, and we recorded it over 20 years ago, I'll find it posted by other people on YouTube, and it really blows me away. And I always tell the fellas, Phobie One, shout out to Phobie One and Spinal Tap. I'm like, I can't believe that. 20 years later, I thought that nobody really knew or recognized it, but it's still floating out there, and the comments are pretty ill too. Like people are like, yo, I love this stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully one day I can compile everything of the old stuff and do like an anthology where we can put it out and people can hear the progression and hear the stuff from the old to the new. The Ultra Boogie highlight is definitely going to come back out.
What's that?
Because it's getting a lot of high demand. People are starting to look for it and they can't find it.
Yeah.
Back in 2009, I had re-released it real shortly. I was dealing with some legality issues with the person that helped me put that record out at the time. He was threatening legal action and all kinds of stuff, so I had to pull the brakes back. But we're getting all that stuff resolved, and even if it doesn't get resolved, it's going to be available for the people.
Also, when it comes to Ultra Boogie, I also have another question. When it comes to Ultra Boogie, well, besides obvious, Mike Plan's Midnight Moodiness, other than that, what's your favorite song on that album?
Mike Plan's Midnight Moodiness, courtesy of Flavor Deluxe, definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Not just songs, but all time.
And to be honest, I think that specific song was really kind of like a trailblazer when it came to like interludes and albums. I think there was like before Mike Plan's Midnight Moodiness, and then like after you see like where like it changed the whole direction of hip hop.
No doubt. And then that goes into what I want to talk about, because that song, Mike Plan's Midnight Moodiness, reminds me of the time and era when we were recording it. I'll tell you my favorite song later, but this guy Mike Deluxe, Flavor Deluxe, Best of the Babe, all these things he is now, we grew up together, known him for a long time, and there's some things that I think that people should know. Some stuff I can't divulge because of I don't know the statute of limitations. I don't know what we can get in trouble for. Yeah. But one particular moment that sticks out to me. I don't know if you guys know, we rented a house together in Ybor City in 2000, right in probably the most grimiest area, one of the grimiest areas in there, but it's like a cool party house.
The formative years in Ybor City.
Right, where all we'll get into that, but we moved in May 2000, and then I think at the time we both were working in Harbor Island at Z-Tel or whatever.
Yeah, Z-Tel days.
So within a week of moving in, Mike's like, yeah, man, I got to go to Philadelphia. I'll be back within a week. Just bear in mind, we just moved in the house. Okay. A month later, almost 2 months later, Mike is still in Philadelphia. I'm in the house.
No, that was before the Philadelphia was before the house, the Ybor house.
Nah, you left. I don't know if it was Virginia or you left for a good month and left me stranded there. I remember. And I was like, I can't believe this guy just did it. We got a name for it. We call it flamboozle.
Wow.
Oh, and you remember that time when the guy was on our porch with the rifle?
As far as the dude that looked like Patrick Duffy. They had the AK-47.
Well, yeah, he was on our porch with like a rifle. This is a true story. And at the time, Mike, I don't think he was working. or legally, or I don't know what he was doing, but put it this way, we had a lot of non-legal stuff in the house. And I remember we were threatened, we had to call the cops. And because the guy was on the porch with a gun.
Yeah.
So Mike's running around the house with the things that weren't supposed to be in there, like debating on should he flood it? I can't believe this. I can't believe this, man. But we gotta call the cops. It's a classic moment. I wish I could just. It's just incredible. This guy, I mean, he's a piece of work, man.
Yeah, a lot of their pants, a lot of their pants.
A lot of their pants.
We earned these strikes. Hey, we're back to the best of debate.
I gotta get into a little bit of music, but we can come back in a few minutes and share some more stories. You're listening to WMNF 88.5 FM. This is Hip Hop Flavors, and of course, we are here in the studio with Funkghost. We got my man Mike Deluxe and Dem in the house, so you know it's gonna be a lovely night. Keep listening. We got an hour and a half left. I'm gonna get into some music for y'all. Taste it.
Oh. Who's coughing?